Coronavirus outbreaks at local restaurants are kept secret by the county, but tonight, ABC 10 News uses publicly available data to pinpoint where the biggest outbreaks have occurred.
Planning into making Halloween safe during the pandemic. Now, new research from UC San Diego sheds light on how risky it is to handle trick-or-treat candy.
A University City man out for a jog when a sudden pain strikes his face.
Something round, hard, came out of the skin, fell out of my fingers onto the ground.
His warning tonight after someone with a BB gun came dangerously close to blinding him.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
We begin with breaking news. San Diego County issued cease and desist orders to 8 locations in the college area, which it believes were planning to hold huge parties this Halloween weekend amid the pandemic.
Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has been talking to students who got the order and is now live with how they're responding on this. Anthony.
That's right, Steve and Kimberly. Let me tell you, though, that San Diego State does have a stay-at-home advisory in place through the Halloween weekend. They were worried about large gatherings this weekend because of the pandemic. Now, the county believes, as you mentioned, that there were 8 addresses here in the college area that were going to have large gatherings this weekend. And tonight they served those cease and desist notices at those 8 locations. I want to show you some video now taken just a short while ago. We saw a crew from the county serve one of these notices here at a home on Dorothy Drive. They stuck a post to the ground with the notice attached to it. Now, according to the county, they put these notices at homes that they believe were planning to throw parties this Halloween weekend. They learned of many of them through social media. Now, we spoke with students that live at some of those addresses. They told us they had no idea why they were getting served these cease and desist notices, saying they weren't planning to have any gatherings or parties this weekend.
Where this information came from, but it's all completely false, and you guys feel free to take videos all night long, but there will not be people coming in and out of this house.
It's just like the 6 of us and then maybe like 5 of our friends come over, which technically San Diego County allows up to 3 households to have.
Now, the county did release a statement through Dr. Wilma Wooten saying that we were compelled to take this action because there is a great deal at stake. Let me be very clear. The region's livelihood hangs in the balance and is directly tied to our individual and collective actions. We are on the brink of moving to a more restrictive tier. SDSU also issued a statement saying that SDSU is in fully supportive of the cease and desist order Dr. Wilma J. Wooten issued to the region's higher education community. Students should not be hosting or attending parties and should not be attending any in-person gathering that is not in compliance with public health directives. Now, failure to comply may result in a criminal misdemeanor and up to $1,000 fine for each violation. We are reporting live tonight. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. Speaking of preventing those outbreaks, until now, the county has kept the specific locations of outbreaks at restaurants under wraps. But tonight, ABC 10 News is using the county's data to piece together where the outbreaks have occurred. As our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl reports, 4 of the 5 largest outbreaks at restaurants in our county happened in one neighborhood.
The county has been fighting in court to keep the locations of outbreaks a secret, but we were able to identify the 5 largest ones at restaurants by cross-referencing publicly available data. All 5 of these outbreaks happened over the summer, and they're now considered inactive, meaning they're not suspected of causing further spread. ABC 10 News has learned the 2nd largest restaurant outbreak in the county happened here at El Prez. This is the bar health officials shut down in May, one day after these videos showed customers crowded inside, many without masks.
We simply cannot tolerate such blatant and intentional violations.
At the time, Supervisor Nathan Fletcher warned the incident could trigger an outbreak. El Prez was allowed to reopen June 5th with social distancing measures in place. County data obtained by ABC 10 News shows the first sign of illness emerged June 13th. Because it typically takes 7 to 10 days from exposure to symptoms, it's unlikely the outbreak was triggered by the bar's crowded opening in May, says National University epidemiologist Dr. Tyler Smith.
It's most likely to do with their reopening after the county had come in and had them fix their approaches.
The outbreak at El Pres was ultimately linked to 24 infections, according to the data. In a statement, El Pres said they learned in June that several employees had gotten sick, but they didn't provide a number, adding, "We notified the health department when each case occurred, communicated the information to our employees, and closed the restaurant for deep cleaning each time." El Pres said they later learned some customers tested positive, but they're not aware of any cases since July. Other popular PB bars also had big crowds over the summer. Nearby, the data shows there was an outbreak at Mavericks Beach Club linked to 23 infections, an outbreak at Pacific Beach Shore Club linked to 20 infections, and an outbreak at Water Bar linked to 16. Documents reveal the infections largely occurred from late May through July, although cases linked to Mavericks continued into September. Todd Brown is the owner of Water Bar.
We're following every safety protocol up and above what we've been asked to do with the county health department and the CDC.
Brown said when they had a reported positive case, they immediately closed for a deep cleaning.
Unfortunately, you run into problems in the middle of a pandemic, and even if you follow all the protocols.
Even though health officials in Los Angeles County identify where outbreaks happen, San Diego County has refused, saying it could have a chilling effect on contact tracing and saying the data could be misleading to the public at a time when the virus is already widespread.
People have to remember, just because something's happening and there are these identified outbreaks, it doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. What it does mean is that the county has a place to start with resources.
I need you guys wearing your masks on the line. We want to look good. I need you guys being safe.
Dr. Smith says there could be several factors at play in the PB outbreaks. The businesses all cater to younger, often college-aged customers who have had higher rates of infection. And he says the more popular a restaurant is, the more customers it sees, and its chances of encountering someone with the virus goes up. Altogether, the 5 largest outbreaks were linked to 110 infections and 0 deaths. After the county learned of the method we use to identify these outbreaks, it changed the way it keeps its records to prevent this kind of analysis in the future. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
The largest restaurant outbreak, was in Little Italy with 27 cases. You can find out where and see responses from all of the restaurants on 10news.com. New developments on a Team 10 investigation into a federal jail that's seen a large amount of COVID cases. 2 weeks ago, we profiled the Metropolitan Correction Center downtown. That's where more than 300 inmates have tested positive for COVID. Now it appears another jail is seeing a jump in cases as well. The federal defenders tell Team 10 that the jail operated by the GEO Group downtown submitted 286 COVID tests yesterday. 56 came back positive, 114 came back negative, and 116 are still pending. Today, another 221 tests were submitted. They are all still pending. There have also been concerns raised about how long it's taking detainees to get an initial court hearing and staying in jail for longer periods of time.
San Diego's 14-day rolling average for positive COVID-19 tests dipped slightly lower today. It's inching closer to 2.5%. There were 471 new cases reported today. That brings our pandemic total to 56,369. The county also reported 3 more deaths. To date, 888 San Diegans have died from COVID. Researchers at UCSD say the risk of getting COVID-19 from trick-or-treating candy is low, but it's not zero. They looked at how much the virus ended up on candy that was handled by COVID patients. They found the risk was minimal because the virus is mainly transmitted through respiratory droplets in the air. Even though the risk of transmission through handling candy is low, it can be lowered further by washing candy wrappers before handling them.
When I realized what it was and that I'd been shot, I was very angry.
A University City man has a warning tonight after someone with a BB gun shot him during his daily jog. Our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chin explains why the man is fearful the shooter may be just getting started.
Tuesday night, just past 6, Tom Torney is nearing the end of his daily 3-mile jog, running northbound on University Town Center Drive.
Very calm, enjoying the evening. Hardly any traffic out in the neighborhood.
On the sidewalk near the shopping center, his calm jog suddenly interrupted by pain.
I felt a sharp sting, right portion of my chin, and so I stopped. And as I was pushing on it, something round, hard, came out of the skin, fell out of my fingers onto the ground.
A stunned Torney who didn't have his glasses did not look for the apparent BB.
When I realized what it was and that I'd been shot, I was very angry.
Torney, who was shot on the right side, believes the shot came from the shopping center area. He briefly scoured the area but didn't see anyone. Bleeding from his chin, he jogged home. He's doing fine now, but he's still upset.
If the shot had been 6 to 8 inches higher, it probably would have hit me in the eye.
Torney has no clue about a motive, but he's convinced he was being targeted.
Because I was the only moving target really in the whole area.
Torney has been interviewed by police who told him they haven't received reports of similar incidents in the area. Torney now worried about what may happen next because of the boldness of the attack. It was still light out, and while the traffic was light at the time, it remains a busy area.
If the person's not caught, that he could do it to other people. And it could be much more harm done to those people.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Anyone with information on this case is asked to call San Diego Police or Crime Stoppers.